Good evening. It is great to be here with you. There are three kinds of people that you should never give a microphone to: politicians, lawyers, and preachers. I am all three. But I promise you that I will keep it short. I will be brief tonight. First, let me say that it's great to be here with Republican women. Republican women are really the backbone of the party. Not only the beauty, but the brains also. Whenever there's a job to be done, the fellas always say, let's call the Republican women, because you know they'll get it done. And that's really the truth. So we thank you for that, ladies. I'd like to introduce two people standing in the back. My son-in-law, Jason Frugier. Sitting to my left, Elbert Guillory II. I'd like to talk just a little bit about American values. Right now, our values are under attack. There are people who want to destroy what we are, what we have become, and they are attacking on many fronts, economic fronts, many others, but they are attacking our values also. Now, the values that we have really made America great. It made us, these values, made us the greatest nation on earth, the most powerful, the most just, the most wonderful place on earth ever in history. And that's why they want to take us down. Some of those values: hard work. Hard work is under attack right now by persons who give government handouts, and those government handouts destroy the will for a lot of people to work. That's very sad. Employers cannot find workers right now because they're sitting home because Mr. Biden sends them checks. Love of our country. There are many people who are trying to destroy the love that we have for America. Let's take CRT, critical race theory, for just a second. There are two things about it. First, it says that the driving force of America is race. That the reason that this country was founded was race. What developed this country was race and slavery. Race, 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 race. Critical race theory talks a lot about race. And in a negative way. It doesn't say that America developed because of our desire for freedom and our love for each other and the wars that we have fought to make not only America free, but other people in the world free. All of that is pushed aside. The things that would make a little child grow up and swell their chest and be proud to be Americans, those things are pushed aside. And race, as the motivating factor for America, is being taught. Critical race theory. The second thing is that it teaches children to hate each other and to hate America. Two children, two babies, born today in a hospital, lying next to each other, one black, one white. Critical race theory says that the black child is, by his DNA, a poor, oppressed, miserable victim. And it says that this white child, by his DNA, is an evil oppressor. Oppressor by DNA and victim by DNA. And they're teaching that to children in elementary schools. And what does it do? It draws a dividing line between them. It makes them hate each other. And we are paying people to do that. That's what's amazing about it. Critical race theory. We have to destroy it. We have to stamp it out. We have to stop it. Or, once again, love of our country will be driven out. Also, there's a move, of course, to stop us from saying the Pledge of Allegiance in schools, stop us from saying the Pledge of Allegiance or singing the national anthem at sports events, destroying young people's love for America. Love for God, already driven out of schools, driven out of public buildings, baby Jesus has been driven out of the nativity scenes across our country. At Christmas, it's not supposed to see those nativity scenes starring baby Jesus. And that's not something that's coming. That is something that is already arrived. So the love of God, the American love of God, is being destroyed. The English language. Let me ask you a question. As you know, that is an ungrammatical construction. Well, there are people today who say that you shouldn't correct children and say, oh, it's not ax, it's ask. Because that's the way they talk. And so it's racist for us to correct them and try to change their culture. That's not culture. That's idiocy. That is illiteracy. That is called racism now. So the English language under attack. And if you don't believe that it's under attack, we are no longer an English speaking, we are a bilingual society. If you don't believe that, turn on the radio, flip through the dial, and tell me how many Spanish speaking stations you will hear. If you don't believe it, turn on the television, flip through the dial, and see how many Spanish speaking stations there will be. Last week, I went into a bathroom in a service station, and there was water on the floor, and the sign, the little yellow cone, sign said, well, whatever it said was in Spanish. With a little English subtitle. I was so angry that I forgot what I went in there for. Another major American value is preparation. Preparation throughout everything that we do. Preparing to go to war, preparing to go to school, preparing for a trade, preparing for a profession. Already it has started. Grades are racist, so they're getting rid of grades. We're not going to have A, B, C, D students anymore because that's racist. It's not inclusive and equitable and all the rest of those things. They want everyone to have the same outcome. So there won't be Dean's List students and honors students anymore. That is what they are trying to do. That has already begun. Mathematics. 2 plus 2 is not supposed to be 4 anymore. Because that's racist, to have a harsh, rigid answer. You should have a fluid answer. If you think I'm lying, if you think I'm making this up, Google it. Open enrollment in colleges. Now, there are 2 universities in the state of Louisiana that I must tell you about. One of them, because of open enrollment, that means that anybody with any degree of preparation, 0 degree or 100 degrees of preparation, can go to the college, no matter how prepared they are. One university in Louisiana has a 10% four-year graduation rate. Yes, that is what I'm saying. A 90% failure rate at the four-year level. That means that they either dropped out, left, taking additional time. They have to go to remedial classes to bring them up to speed. Open enrollment. And if you think that that is disgusting, then we spend millions of dollars on a state university. There's another one with a 3.5% four-year graduation rate. 3.5%. And we are paying for it right now. That's a 97% failure rate. 96.5 actually. Free community college for everyone, including millions and millions of illegal aliens. Which means that no matter how prepared or unprepared a person is, all they have to do is graduate from high school, can't read, can't write, can't do mathematics, and they get a free ride to community college, paid for by you and me. Race quotas in everything from college to corporations. All of the above. The preparation or lack thereof. English. Getting God out of American life. Love for country. Hard work. The American values, the values that made us great, are under attack right now, and we must do something about it. May I have that first shot, please, sir? Police officers are often referred to as the thin blue line between the chaos of crime and the safety of our communities. Republicans, you and I, we are the last hope for America. We are the thin red line between the chaos of nutty government and the safety of our community. We're the last great hope for America and for the future of America's grandchildren. I have a photograph here. His son, my grandson. He and I are drawing mustaches on each other. I'm drawing one on him so that he will look older, and he's darkening mine so that I will look younger. I want, for that little boy, I want the America that I grew up in. I want the freedoms. I want the liberties for that boy. And that is why I'm standing before you tonight. Thank you, sir. If you think I'm exaggerating about us being the last great hope, just look at what has already taken place. Look at the wave of violence. 30% increase over last year's violence, and last year's was a 30% increase in the shootings and murders over the year before that. And of course, the Democrat response to all of that is, defund the police, get rid of the police. The police are racist. Look at federal spending. $30 trillion in debt. And if Pelosi and Biden pass their bills, by December we can be $35 trillion in debt. We are flirting with, we are courting national bankruptcy. Look at immigration. In the last 2 months, Biden's policies have admitted 80,000 Afghans, 60,000 Haitians, 300,000 South Americans. 95% of them are poor and uneducated. 100% of them get free housing, free education, free health care, free money, free phones, free college educations, the works. And we are paying for it. They come unmasked and unvaccinated, and they are dumped onto our already overburdened healthcare system, education system, employment system. If you don't think that we are the last great hope, look at what they're doing to our freedoms. At every step, trying to take away our guns, take away our right to assemble. We've already talked about Christians. We can't pray in public. We can't display baby Jesus in the manger at Christmas time. And look at what they're doing to our culture. Taking down statues, banning books, teaching our children that all white people are evil oppressors and all black people are miserable victims. We, you and I, are the last hope for America. If we don't turn this around, the America that we know and love is going to be lost. It is our responsibility. So I'm asking each of us, each one of us in this room, to commit to making the fight to save our nation, to making the change to save our nation. Don't need to save it for me, but save it for that little boy and all of the other little boys and little girls in America today. We must drive out the corrupt big spenders, the goofy Green New Deal dodos, the cuckoo communists, and the wretched rhinos.
Amen.
Now, I want y'all to know that I'm a Navy veteran. I don't have to use words like dodos and goofy, because I can cuss like a sailor. But my mama, who left at 104, wanted me to be a Baptist preacher. And after 70 years, I finally relinquished my reservations and became on the first anniversary of her death, I became an ordained Baptist minister. So I can't use those words anymore. You are stuck with dodos and goofy. But I just wanted you to know that I have some much more powerful, more eloquent words than those. Anyway, we must replace them. All of those dodos and goofy folks and cuckoos, we have to replace them with common sense Americans, people who love God, people who love America, and who love the American way of life. I'd like to show you, Jason, may I have the map, please? I'd like to show you a video about one of the things that we are doing. It's called the Southern Initiative. Today, we're introducing our exciting new Southern Initiative. The Democrat Party has a tight grip on the black vote. That tight grip exists despite the incredibly high rates of poverty, joblessness, rotten education, murder, and violence in Democrat-run areas. That grip exists despite the Republican Party's excellent record on criminal justice reform, job creation, education choice, and civil rights. Well, we are going to break that death grip on America's black community. Across the South, from the plains of Texas to the eastern shore of Virginia, we will support viable black Republican candidates. We will educate and motivate black voters using radio, newspapers, social media, billboards, speeches, church events, and other communication techniques. We will press this Southern Initiative with vigor and commitment. These are candidates that we will support through our Southern Initiative. In Texas, Allen West for governor. In Louisiana, there's an old senator running for lieutenant governor. In Arkansas, Joseph Woods for lieutenant governor. In Georgia, Vernon Jones for governor. In South Carolina, Senator Tim Scott for the United States Senate. In Virginia, Winsome Sears for lieutenant governor. Besides these top-of-the-ticket candidates, in those same states we will identify and support down-ticket candidates such as state senators and representatives. The black community can no longer be held hostage by the poor education policies and poverty of the Democrats. The time for change has arrived. So, the Southern Initiative, from the plains of Texas to the eastern shore of Virginia, we intend to, in all of these states, we've added Florida since this was printed. We're still working on Mississippi, but we have to break that death grip that the Democrats have. Thank you, sir. That death grip that the Democrats have on the black vote. We've got to break it. And we need all of us working together to do that. We have to replace them with God-fearing, baby-loving, as in non-abortion people. We have to replace them with people who have the coconuts to represent we, the people of the United States of America. May I have that last one, sir? These are coconuts. In Louisiana, when someone has courage and fortitude and the ability to stand up when others stand back, we say that she or he has coconuts. There are not enough coconuts in Washington, D.C. today. Today, there are not enough people who love God, love America, and love the American people in Washington, D.C. It takes coconuts to stand against the wild spending that mortgages our grandbabies' futures. Coconuts to stand against the pin-headed foreign policies that threaten our homeland. It takes coconuts to yell out, we must take care of our veterans, our elderly, our poor, before we invite millions of guests onto our health, education, and welfare systems. We let too many lines separate us. I promise that I will not let the lines of my district prevent me from speaking out on your behalf, speaking out for your values, your needs, your interests. Coconuts to stand up for right. And if you want to know more about where I stand, please visit us at voteelbert.com, YouTube, Elbert Lee Guillory, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or the mailman. United States Navy, 1964 to 68. Difficult years for the military. I volunteered while many ducked, dodged, and ran away from military service. Rutgers Law School. It doesn't get better than Rutgers. More than 40 years of experience in government, from the municipal level to Washington, D.C., as a teacher of government and law, a government lawyer, a government manager, state representative, state senator. Experience, commitment, coconuts. Thank you so much.